Firstly, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy and congratulations on celebrating a decade since your directorial debut with Shamshera.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Anuj.
So this is your first period action sort of film. So tell me, what appealed to you the most about making a dacoit story set against India's freedom struggle, and how technically apt were you in terms of when it comes to the story and the set creations?
Anuj, it started from the point where Adi, my producer, Adi Chopra, he kind of shared a core idea with me in a nutshell for Shamshera, and I immediately latched onto it. And from there onwards, me and my wife, Ekta Malhotra, we developed a screenplay on it, and eventually, which is now turned into the film that you will soon see, and the trailer of which is out. So, as far as being, act of kind of trying to make a film like Shamshera and all, believe me, nothing can prepare you for a film like Shamshera. There are so many things to be taken care of. It's a mammoth project. But having said that, I'm a sucker for these kind of films. I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed these kind of films from my childhood to now. I'm a huge Subhash Ghai fan. I'm a huge Mukul Anand fan, and
Ah,
I enjoy Rajamouli cinema very very much. So I think all of these filmmakers have been my inspiration to be able to create a world that has never been seen before in our genre.
in fact, when I saw Agnipath, I could see a lot of Trimurti references actually. Now that you've mentioned,
Interesting.
in fact, now that you've mentioned that, it makes sense. And in fact, throughout your filmography, from
Right.
Agnipath Brothers to Shamshera now, you've
Yes.
always, I think, had somewhere a story about vengeance and revenge. Why are you so drawn towards this theme of revenge and vengeance so much? What is it about it that really appeals to you?
So I think it has something to do with my past life, Anuj, to be honest with you, because it's a fact. It's a fact. And I keep asking this question to myself: what's my core thread? Why do I keep getting attracted to revenge and father issues and those kind of things? So it has to do something with where I was before this lifetime for sure. I think. But having said that, I enjoy the intensity of emotions, and I think being an Indian, we're all loud in our emotions. We're all over the top. We're all exaggerated, and I feel the genre that I enjoy doing is an opportunity to celebrate those emotions.
Right.
At their peak level. So I really enjoy doing that. I enjoy watching that as an audience. So it just comes naturally to me, I think.
I'm also drawn to how you almost present an underdog in your movies who rises up and becomes the Avenger. So I guess what and where did you discover this attribute in Ranbir Kapoor? I mean, how did you manage to, I guess, guide him in internalizing his anger and vulnerabilities as the character that he's playing in the film?
Right. So honestly speaking, Anuj, I think I had never imagined Ranbir playing this kind of a role before we wrote Shamshera. But having said that, I do feel that I enjoy challenges in terms of presenting an actor in an image that he's never been presented before, whether it was Ritik in Agnipath, whether it was Rishi Kapoor, whether it's Sanjay Dutt, and now Ranbir Kapoor.
Right.
I can say that I've been fortunate enough for these actors to, kind of surrender to my vision and let me try and mold them in a world that they've never been in before.
Uh-huh.
So I think Ranbir adds, that hit of freshness to Shamshera because he's never been seen in a character like this. And I just enjoy. I think as a director, I really enjoy presenting actors in a space, a time, and a look where they have never been seen before because I think that makes my cinema special, more special than it
Yeah.
otherwise would be.
No, absolutely. I mean, I remember when I first saw Sanjay Dutt as Kancha Cheena in
Mhm.
Agnipath, he reminded me of Voldemort for some reason. I tried to explain this, and people just don't see that reference, but that's what it meant to me. And it was very sinister. But I
Mhm.
must tell you, Karan, for some reason, I'm kind of unable to grasp why his appearance is the way it is in Shamshera, actually. So could you describe how and why this getup is necessary for him as a villain, as what we've kind of seen in the trailer and the promos?
So I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. It's very simple. My film is not a social film. To be very honest with you, and to put it out there,
Right.
it's not a social film. It's not a historical film. I wanted the presence of a character who was in command of the destiny of a tribe, and he
Okay.
was going to misuse it for his own sadistic pleasures.
Hmm.
So I do feel somewhere organically this look came into my mind, and then translated on paper and eventually in Shamshera. There is no agenda. There is no social thought process behind it. It's
Mhm.
just that I feel the way Sanjay Dutt has carried the look says a lot about his presence, and just by looking at a single frame
Mhm.
of Shuddh Singh's character in the film, I
Yeah.
don't need to describe the character anymore. I don't need to work towards telling you what he's going to be all about. You need to just enjoy him now when you see him.
Okay, yeah. I think the reason why I say this as well, because obviously there's sometimes a bit of a fear of, when a certain character looks the way it is, there's often fear of, it being misinterpreted or being, I guess, misconstruing certain, cultures, I
No,
believe.
absolutely, because that's not the intention. The idea is not to make a film that will kind of create a controversy or anything of that sort. Because it's simple. I think we have as Indians grown up seeing various characters donning these kind of get-ups, whether they're positive or negative, starting from our stories to our films to our mythology and everywhere. Uh, so I think it just subconsciously kind of comes from a lot of uh, uh, cultural things that we have been exposed to, or cinema we've been exposed to, or television that we've been exposed to. There is no intention of trying to kind of stir an hornet's nest, or
Yeah,
try and create a social issue. That's not the intention at all.
right.
It's a commercial Hindi film, and that's what it should be seen as, and just be entertained when you're watching it. That's about it.
Yeah. Now, you know what, Karan? I really love you as a filmmaker. I must tell you. I think when
Thank
it
you,
comes
thank you.
from, I must say one thing, credits go to Dharma. They bring up some of the best filmmakers, actually, honestly.
Sure, 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 sure.
And honestly, and I'm glad that, you've kind of had that breakthrough. But why have you made such fewer films, Karan? And and I think it's also a good thing and a bad thing because I look forward to your films, but then you've made such fewer. Is it the lack of opportunities generally coming your way, or is it opportunities not being of a particular interest for you?
No, so Anuj, I keep asking this question to myself, to be honest with you. I don't know. That's how destiny has unfolded for me. I realize, me and my wife keep talking about this because, when my film does well, I still take a long time to start my next film. When my film doesn't do well, I
Yeah.
still take more time to start my next film. And
Mm.
when my film is on the roll, then a pandemic happens, and then I wait again. So I think it's just a pattern that I need to break as a filmmaker, as a director. And hopefully, after Shamshera, I'll be quicker in presenting my films, because I think it's high time that I make more films than I do. Because it's been
Right.
10 years and only three have come out so far out of my system. And I do
Right.
feel I have many more stories to offer.
Definitely. And I know the film has gone through several release date changes due to the pandemic. And I think
Yes.
the industry generally as well, it's going through a bit of a turbulent time, I think, when it comes to the box office
Sure,
responses.
sure,
But I'm
sure,
still
sure,
very
sure.
hopeful that it will pick up. But how do you stay focused as a creative when you fight exterior forces and pressures like the ones that I've just described?
To be honest with you, Anuj, I try and ward off any external pressure that would come my way, because I think that would hamper my creativity as a director. I'll be lying if I say that I don't get affected by them, but I
Mhm.
work on myself and my mind with great vigor to
Yeah.
stay focused on what I love most, and that is my work. So when I'm on a film set, when I'm in a studio trying to finish my film, I vacuum out everything external at that point, and I can spend the rest of my life in that space, and be happy in my creative zone at all, and nothing else will bother me. The outside world won't bother me. So, but the moment you leave that room and come out, all sorts of kind of things start rising up, technicalities and
Mhm.
administration and finances and blah blah blah. But
Mhm.
I have to mention that I've been very very grateful to be blessed by a very strong producer, that is Aditya Chopra,
Yeah.
because he has taken care of all the drama that could have otherwise reached me. He's been handling it with great finesse and great authority. So
Good.
that definitely helps if you have a strong producer kind of warding off all the negativity from you.
Yeah, definitely. Now, it's been 10 years, like I said, since Agnipath released. How would you describe the growth that you've actually had as a filmmaker? I think in light of Shamshera as well, if you could say. And I think going forward now, what style of cinema? Because I find your films almost in a way a very love letter to Marathi cinema for some reason. Like I feel a very Marathi vibe with the films that you make. So going
Okay.
forward as well, what style of films would you be interested in making next? What sort of stories do you think would be very fascinating for you to explore?
So honestly speaking, I have never tried to kind of frame myself in a particular genre. I react to the story. I react to the story. It's a coincidence that so far all the stories that I have reacted to and have wanted to make have been stories of catharsis and action and revenge and drama. So that's pure coincidence. There will be opportunities, hopefully for me, where I will also make films that don't kind of lock me into a genre. Uh, uh, and hopefully that happens after Shamshera. But having said that, I don't know. I think it's you're the first person, in fact, telling me this about my my craft resembling Marathi cinema, and that's an interesting observation. I should pay more attention to that and see why that happens or why you felt that. But having said that, I would like to continue making films that I would want to watch. That
Mm.
I would want to watch. I would enjoy while I'm making them, because I do believe in adrenaline rush when you're watching a film. That's the kind of person I am, and I
Yeah.
want it to be a roller coaster ride every time you come and watch a film of mine.
Absolutely. Well, look, Karan, I think on that note, I'm very excited for Shamshera. I mean, I've loved Ranbir Kapoor. In fact, you know what? Honestly, for me, I think this is going to be a huge game changer, I think, for him, especially in 2022, because he also has Brahmastra as well. So I'm sure it's going to be a very big game changer for Ranbir. I mean, how confident are you actually about Ranbir? Because I forgot to ask you this actually when I asked you about him. How confident are you with this performance and the way he's performed in the film?
I can say that I'm extremely satisfied. I have been delivered by Ranveer more than I expected, and he owns the film. He owns the characters he's playing in the film, and he stands tall for sure.
Right. And actually, even Vani as well. Big shout out to Vani. I think she's so brilliant. I think she's very, I don't want to say underrated, but I feel like she deserves so much better. And I'm sure that Shamshera will definitely be that film for her. So I'm looking very much forward to it. I've grown up watching Mera Gaon, Mera Desh, Sholay, and Western films like
Sure,
that.
sure, sure, sure,
So
sure,
for me
sure.
to see a film like Shamshera, I think will be very exciting. So thank you so much, Karan, for joining me on Filme
No,
Shilmy.
George. Thank you,
And
Anush. Thank you so much.
wishing you all the
Thank you.
very
Thank
best
you.
for the film.
Thank you so much, Anush. Take care. Nice
Thank you.
talking to you.
Thank you very
Take care. Bye
much. Bye bye.
bye. Bye bye. Bye.